Just $10,500. So you're telling me don't be a DIY on your tax returns?
Absolutely.
That would be crazy. 1, 2, how many years can we go back?
2 years. You can
2 years. If you've had a capital gains event in the last 2 years and you haven't had it vetted, get it vetted. Well, but that's a story for another day.
You're tuning in to The Property Couch, Australia's #1 property, finance and money podcast.
G'day Couchers, it's Fundamental Friday. I'm here with a good friend of mine, also one of our great tax experts here in our business. Dinesh, mate, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting.
Now, obviously there'll be a few people who don't know about you. Tell us a bit about yourself.
So I've been in Australia for about 10, 11 years
Yep.
now. Yeah, so it's been a long time. And I've been in the accounting industry for about 7, 8 years now.
Yes.
Started in 2019.
Yeah.
And do probably about 1,000 plus returns a year.
Yes, you certainly do, because you specialise obviously in property investment tax returns, and also anyone who's investing in self-managed super funds or trusts doing their tax returns as well. So
Absolutely.
there's not a lot you don't know about property and so forth, which is a nice little segue into the hill that you will die on, because this is about you in a professional capacity in terms of how you want to help people. So what is the hill that you will die on?
These days, we hesitate going to the accountants. And I would highly recommend going to the accountant, especially, if you've got tax bills, expected tax bills.
Yep.
So I would recommend speaking to the accountant. I don't want clients to be paying extra dollars to the taxman.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure you pay as minimum as possible, especially with the growing inflation.
Yep.
We always want to make sure every single dollar which we can save you should be saved.
Mate, and it's also great work, finding that extra bit of money here and there. And what's the biggest tax that people usually miss out on? What's the one that's, that can really have a meaningful amount of money that you should be getting back from the government that you let go on?
I think the most important one which I find these days is capital gains tax.
Yep.
So capital gains has become such a big, painful tax bill for the clients these days, because, it's in thousands of dollars. It's not in you're paying in hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
So I really feel, when I see clients, what they have estimated and what we are actually, estimating as an accountant, there is a big difference, and it's a substantial difference which we find out. So that's why I highly recommend, people sometimes think, it's just a capital gains bill, it is what we have to pay. But there are a lot of deductions, there are a lot of, cost which has been involved over the years, which you probably haven't claimed, and you probably would have forgot about it because you hold a property for a long time and you forget about it.
So you're passionate about tax and all things tax in relation to this. Have you had examples directly, or have you heard of stories where people have foregone, in some cases thousands, and in extreme cases tens of thousands of dollars of money that they could have claimed as part of a capital gains deduction?
Yeah, I don't need to hear the stories because I get to see the clients.
Yeah.
So
Well, they're the smart ones coming to you because they could be foregoing that. Yeah.
True, and there's sometimes cases where clients have lost their return last year because we are checking their previous year returns, so that to make sure what they have lost and if there is anything which was missing there, and we want to make sure if we can amend that for them and get them some dollars back. So I've found a lot of times that clients have not claimed their initial cost of, let's say, for example, a buyer's agent fees. There could be a building and pest inspection they would have paid for. There could be, a cost which is related to conveyancers, stamp duty. Stamp duty is a big deduction which a lot of people forget about. The reason behind it is it's not there on your settlement statement. And if it's not there on your settlement statement, the accountant is just going by the purchase price and he forgets about the stamp duty, because every state has got a different way of preparing a settlement statement. So it's very important you speak to an accountant, because if you don't speak to us, you would not be aware of what you have left behind. Okay, so it's very important. I would suggest to see us or your accountant, whoever who's been doing your returns over the years.
A rough idea of the number of people who have pre-calculated their deductibility on capital gains, and then you see their deductions. How many of those would have higher deductibility once you've reviewed the file?
Almost everyone, to be honest.
Wow. So can we call it 99.1? Because 100% is extreme. But even like, so you're telling me 99% of the people that you do get to review have usually missed one potential cost-based item that they haven't put in that you can find?
Yeah, absolutely. I can give you an example. Recently, it was last week, I was doing a return for a client, and he had bought this property where he intended to move in.
Yep.
But he couldn't move in for the first 7 months because the property was already rented out. It was leased out, so they had to wait to move into the property.
Yep.
And because of that, the property's first purpose became an investment instead of being their main residence. So when he sold after 5 years, he was not aware that over the period of 5 years, the interest he has paid, he can claim it as a tax deduction on a apportionate basis, which he was not aware of. So his spreadsheet had a calculation, and my calculations varied by almost $10,500 in tax bill. So
Bang, goal. There's $10,500.
So it is very important, because you don't know all the legislations, and that's why they are expertise. They're sitting there doing their job. So it's important, and that's why I would die any day and tell the clients.
So you're telling me don't be a DIY on your tax returns and try and calculate your own capital gains.
Absolutely.
That would be crazy. So have we missed anything else in terms of deductible for capital gains tax?
Yeah, especially, this client which I'm telling you had a 10.5K tax, difference from what he calculated and what we calculated is the holding cost. Because
holding cost.
Yeah. So in this scenario specifically, the client had an investment initially. So across the years, when he had the property, all the holding cost is actually going to, be added to the cost base. So like interest, council rates, these are such an important things. Even you were living in the property, but still they will be added to the cost base because you are calculating the capital gains from day one.
So that's in addition to the proportional cost we talked about before?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So what's some of the other tips that you would give me in the capital gains space? Like, how important is looking after my documents and keeping good records?
Sometimes, when you have got an investment property and you decide to sell it, let's say, you have got a settlement which you have intended to do it in 3 months' time, 90 days settlement period you took, and you had to, vacate the property before you started to, advertise for selling it off. You did some works on the property, okay? Make sure you get all the invoices for that, because all those repairs are going to reduce your gross capital gains.
Because you didn't have time to claim them,
yes.
Obviously, during that tax year, because effectively you've got the property prepared for sale as part of that.
Absolutely.
Anything else that you can think of in terms of record keeping that are important? Of course, the natural ones I think you mentioned a second ago, which was the purchase price. Now, that everyone will roughly remember that, but the date of purchase, the date of contract sometimes can be important. And then stamp duty is the big one.
Conveyancer fees.
Solicitors, conveyancer fees.
Building and pest inspections are very important. Selling agent commissions, because when you are selling the property, you are paying agents commissions as well to sell the property. Marketing could be something, they're just advertising on your behalf. So these are very important costs which are going to be deductible against your cost base.
So how many people think that building and pest inspection reports are deductible in that year as opposed to being part of the capital cost? Or is there examples where it will fall into deductible in the year versus capital cost?
No, so building and pest inspection is part of your purchase. So that's clear. So if anything you pay, which is pre-settlement, and most of these costs are going to be conveyancer and building and pest inspections, buyer's agent fees. So these costs are going to be any day only claimed as a cost base. They cannot be claimed as a tax deduction any day.
That's why we're here, people. We're here to learn. We're here to get this type of advice, and it doesn't come from ChatGPT or anything like that. It actually comes from speaking to your accountant. So, Dinesh, I love what you do. I love how you help people get the money that you get for them every year, finding those extra deductions. It's a joy to have you on the team and to work with you. And it is also an important reminder, especially when you've got a capital gains tax event, to get some advice. And if you have had a capital gains event in the last 1, how many years can we go back?
2 years. You can
2 years. If you've had a capital gains event in the last 2 years and you haven't had it vetted by someone, get it vetted. That's probably the final message from my end as we roll into the weekend. Get it vetted, people. Capital gains tax, it's money.
Absolutely.
Your money, not theirs. Get it back off them. Obviously, it's better in your pocket. You can do more with it. What did the big fella say to the government when he says, "I don't like paying tax because I think you don't do a good job with it." And I sometimes think that they don't do a good job on their spending as well. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for watching. Until next week, remember, knowledge is empowering, but only if you act on it. We'll see you on our next Fundamental Friday. Bye for now.
Hey folks, Opti here, your smart money sidekick inside more. Just one quick thing before we sign off. If you're new to the Property Couch community, welcome. One quick tip to help you get the most value from the show. Our first 20 episodes cover the foundations we build on every week. And yes, listening on 1.5 speed is totally acceptable. If you're short on time, download our free binge guide. It distills those episodes into one easy read with heaps of visual diagrams, alongside free tools inside More, your all-in-one financial home, to help you organize your money and plan your next best move. Check out all the links in our show description. And just a quick reminder before you go, anything we cover on this podcast is general in nature. It's not considered to be financial advice, and we certainly recommend that you seek out professional advice before making any financial decisions. Once again, everything mentioned is linked in the show description. Ready when you are. Catch you next week.